Good morning, everybody. I am in a Durango Walmart parking lot because that's where I slept last night. And though that may sound not as good as a bed, you would be correct, but it actually wasn't that bad. I slept in the front seat instead of trying to sleep back there in the back, and it was much better. Much better quality sleeping time. So I'm all awake this morning. But we're actually going to head back to Pagosa Springs. It's east instead of going west. Because it looked like when I was driving through last night, there was this cool little area that you could walk around in. So we're going to go do that. But last night, I just sort of drove around for a while until like midnight or something like that. So I wasn't tired. I didn't want to go to sleep. I don't know what it was. Just kept driving around. And it was nice. I like night driving sometimes. But depending on if we find anything to do in Pagosa Springs or Durango, we might head to Mesa Verde today. That also was on my list of things I wanted to do. I was going to say something else. I don't remember. It's lost. It's gone. I don't know where it went. Oh, someone got pulled over. I'm so sorry. I know what that is like. I feel like I say that whenever I see some sort of catastrophe. Just, I understand. Me and cars don't have the best history, but this trip we've been rekindling that lost car friendship that you need in order for your car to not try to kill you. I've never, no, I have gotten a speeding ticket in this car before. Never mind. There was this cool thing in Durango to do, take a train to Silverton. It's supposed to be like some old Western looking building. And you can take a train up there, and it sounds really cool, but it's like $85. Isn't there anything cool to do for free? I'm trying to do this trip as economically as possible. I don't know if that's the best way to do it or not. Maybe I should just spend all my money. But parks are relatively cheap or free, and you can just go walk around, and it's fun. It's exploration. I'd like to say it's a new frontier, but it's not. I love it. Yep, I had tape on my tongue. This trail looks so much different during the day. You can actually see beyond the road. There's mountains over there. Isn't that nice? It's a decrepit looking building for lease. Awesome. It's one thing you always find whenever you go on road trips. At least in the United States, you always go through towns that have places that look like they haven't been touched in decades. They're falling apart. Like, you might have whole towns like that. You wonder, some places are still open, but you're like, where are the people? Are there any actual people that live here? Is this ghost town, literally? Like, are there ghosts everywhere? Because I'm not stopping in a ghost town. I know they could be friendly ghosts. Not all ghosts have to be evil spirits or vengeful, wanting to kill humans who are still alive. It could be like Casper, but Casper's like the only friendly ghost. And I don't want to take the chance, honestly. Knowing my luck, it would be an unfriendly ghost. And they'd lock my doors, and then I wouldn't be able to get back in, and then I'd be stuck there except for to run out into the middle of nowhere, which is worse because there's no light. But thankfully, my life is not a horror movie yet. Guess it could happen at any time. My life will not be a horror movie. Oh, such positive thoughts. I will not be axe murdered in my sleep. Good. Good. I need to cut my nails. They're getting really long. And it gets inconvenient to do things like typing. Suddenly you're hitting multiple keys at once because your nails are so long. They're grappling. Nothing interesting to say about Kansas. Nobody ever has any funny anecdotes about Kansas, except for that there's nothing there. Farmland. I think if I just went abroad and told people I was from Kansas, they'd be like, where? Or they'd be like, Wizard of Oz? And I'm like, not the Wizard of Oz. Please, no. I mean, it's a fine movie, but it's all people know Kansas for. Farming and the Wizard of Oz. I haven't seen the Wizard of Oz in a long time, like 10 years maybe. It's not a movie that I watch very often. It's fine. It's a classic. There's no place like home. But I don't know what I would tell people. Yeah, I'm from Kansas. We have a river and really nice people. These people I talk to are really nice people. But it's home, and I will always love it for that. I'm trying to remember our song, like Kansas' song. I think it's Home on the Range. I'm positive about that. I would just say that because they made us sing it all the time when we were in elementary school, and I always just sort of assumed it was the state song. Home on the range, where the deer and the antelope. We don't have antelope in Kansas. Why? Why? Am I saying the words wrong? No, that's what the words are. We don't have antelope in Kansas. I am pretty sure. Maybe I should look that up. Are there any antelope in Kansas? Huh. Apparently we do have antelope. Though it does say they're primarily in the west, and I live very much on the east side of Kansas, so I guess I've just never seen them. I only ever see deer, or, squirrels, rabbits. I've seen some foxes, moles. My dog Rudy has dug up some moles in our backyard. But I did not, well, that song makes a whole lot more sense now that there are antelope in the world. Or, I know they're in the world. In Kansas. Apparently there's elk, too. All sorts of wildlife. Where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the sky is not cloudy all day. And there's another verse, but I do not remember what it is. Such a good Kansan. I know our state flower is the sunflower. I don't know our state bird. I think our state tree is the cottonwood. My dad doesn't like the cottonwoods. They, release the little cottony blobs in the spring, and his face gets all sneezy and stuffed up. That's like the only allergy he has, so it's not so bad. I must have gotten that from him because I don't really have allergies either. Sometimes when the seasons change, I get like a little mini cold, but I don't really get allergies. And I'm not allergic to anything like peanut butter. What else are people allergic to? Shellfish. I'm not allergic to shellfish. As far as I know, I'm not allergic to anything. Though I did have like a couple months where I thought I was allergic to eggs, where I might have been, apparently allergies can pop up and leave that fast, but I couldn't eat eggs for the past couple months until recently. They would make my stomach hurt really bad, and it was terrible because I love eggs. It was so sad. But then one day I decided to eat eggs again because I really wanted them, and I was going to deal with the stomach pain that came along with it because I was eating my eggs Benedict. It's the best eggs in the whole world. The hollandaise sauce. And the English muffin. And the meat. Whatever kind of meat that is. I'm not really sure, but it's delicious. It's all put together in this nice little pile of warmth and happiness, and I wanted it. I wanted to eat it, so I did. And I didn't get a stomachache. Then I ate eggs again, didn't get a stomachache. It was a glorious time. My allergy went away, or maybe my couple-month weird egg virus. Can you have that? Can you have a virus that just makes you unable to eat eggs? There's construction right next to me. I don't know, but it was a thing. But now it's gone, so life is good once again. I'm not driving very quickly this morning. I keep getting past them. Not necessarily a bad thing. It's just usually I'm such a fast driver. This trip has made me such a leisurely Sunday old person driver. We used to go on those. My family used to go on Sunday drives. Occasionally. It wasn't like an every Sunday thing. But we would. We'd go on Sunday drives, and they were a lot of fun. Usually we'd, well, not usually, sometimes we'd go off into the country and just sort of drive around farmland of Kansas. Just chat, which was fun. But a lot of times the neighborhood I grew up in, sort of an up-and-coming neighborhood, like when we moved in, while it was being built, there was just like wheat fields everywhere surrounding us. There weren't neighborhoods. There wasn't stuff like already there. Like stuff was being built, like a neighborhood was being created. Oh, excuse me. So while I was growing up, a bunch of neighborhoods were being built around us. So for Sunday drives, we'd go around to the unfinished houses and walk through the like frame of the house, because there's nobody works on Sundays on construction on people's houses, so we just go through the frames of their house, walk up the stairs, walk into the room. My brother and I pretend like which room would be ours. My parents would look at the floor plan. And it's actually a lot of fun. I loved exploring those like skeleton houses. It was so much fun. Of course, sometimes we'd go after church and I'd be in nice clothes. I remember one time I stepped right in a mud puddle. My shoe got stuck and like got ripped off my foot, and it was like sinking into the mud. My mom was really mad at me for getting my shoe all dirty, because right before I stepped in there, she's like, "Don't step there, don't do it." And then I stepped right in it, didn't listen, wasn't paying attention. Story of my life, not paying attention. Seriously though, like in college, like my freshman year especially, people called me a space cadet a lot because I was always off in my brain and never focused on reality. That was me pretty much all throughout high school too. I was always off in my own little world unless I was hanging out with my friends. It was very interesting in my brain at the time. I had many questions to answer. I'm much less. Oh, am I though? Not really. I think I've just more found a balance to actually be in the moment when I'm somewhere instead of going off into la la land. Oh my god. Stop. We're in Pagosa Springs. See, there's a rivery stream from a natural spring behind me. And it's that way too. Up there are some hot springs that I'm probably going to try out later. It'll be so fun. I've never been in a hot spring before. And they're all connected to hotels, but apparently you can go and just hop in the hot spring without having to stay there. So, yes, because I can't afford those hotels. So, we're going to try that out later. And it's a cool little town. Cool shops and stuff. Gonna walk around, see what's out there. I found a coffee shop already. I have a knack for finding those, so yeah. I just spent the most amazing, like, 4 hours or so in the hot springs in Pagosa Springs. They're so nice. Oh, it was so warm. It got chilly too. Like, you know how earlier I was sitting on a rock in the middle of a stream? That was really nice and everything. Well, that was in the morning. In the afternoon, it decided to rain, and a cold front came in. It got really chilly and cold. But I ate amazing gumbo. Like, what? You'd never expect to find really good gumbo in Colorado. And yet, it was delicious. It was so good. It was like crawfish, some French word. I don't even remember, but it's like crawfish gumbo with rice. It needed a bit more rice, though. It was a little soupy. It was probably supposed to be soupy, but I would have liked a little bit more rice, but I didn't want to ask, so it was still delicious. And then I walked around and I uploaded a video because I do that every day. And then I went to the hot springs right behind me. I'm in their parking lot. It's attached to a hotel. Well, this one is. I think the one I went to is attached to a hotel, and you don't have to stay there to go use the hot springs. You just have to pay. And I went, and they had like a bunch of different pools that were all at different temperatures. And I tried one that was 112 degrees Fahrenheit. And it was toasty. It was called the lobster boil. And you felt like a boiling lobster. I didn't stay in that one very long. My perfect temperature was about 104. I liked 104. That was a good temperature. But I bounced around, and you could go into the river that's down there. It's really shallow, and the springs like go into the river, and that was pretty cool. It was a really cool place. I feel like I need lotion now, and I probably smell like sulfur, but it was really great. Oh, so warm, so relaxed. I hear it's really good for you. A car just sort of stopped right behind me. I think they parked. I don't know. But now I'm going to drive back to Durango. Probably going to end up sleeping in that Walmart parking lot again. But I'm going to go find some place where I can write, because I haven't done that in a couple days, and I need to write more. And I want to write more, which is more important. So, yeah. Let's go.